Wow, welcome to the trendy Bloor Street West area of downtown Toronto, where the summer edition of Confabulation 2019 is happening. And that's Confab Toronto. It's not Confab Montreal. I don't hear any French people here, and it's not Confab Victoria either. I don't see any hippies, but I do smell some weed, so maybe we are. No, this is Confab Toronto. Let's go inside and have a night of storytelling. Come on.
Our next storyteller is a first-time storyteller on this stage. He's an actor. He once, this one, when I read this in his intro he sent me, I was like, no way. He once played the part of Polkaroo. Can I just say, it really warms my heart that a lot of you cheered for that. Like, the majority of the room is as old as I am, okay? Thank you, I really appreciate that. He also exchanged lines with Kevin Costner and Jessica Chastain in Molly's Game. And he's also, this is the sweetest part, he's also a ski and tennis instructor from Collingwood. Please welcome Phil Primmer.
I'm supposed to say Polkaroo now, am I? Oh man, see, the response was for Polkaroo and not for swapping lines with Kevin Costner or Jessica Chastain in Molly's Game. That movie was shot, by the way, in Toronto, and the last 3 days were shot up in Beaver Valley Ski Club, where I get to play a ski patroller on the weekends with a couple of these guys here. But when Aaron Sorkin knocks on you and says, "You feel comfortable delivering a line or two?" you don't say no. And the end shot of that was I got to spend 3 days with Kevin, just shooting the breeze with a guy that's got his own Hollywood Walk of Fame star. And it was just totally trippy. We're talking about on the edge surreal stories. I asked him what kind of car he drives, and he goes, "Well, here's my phone." And I'm flicking through pictures of Kevin Costner's car, which happens to be the Bull Durham Mustang Shelby Cobra that he bought off of the production company when, you see him leaning up with his baseball bat. It's on the DVD posters and the movie posters and such. And he's showing me his phone from the gas station in Arizona, and I'm thinking here, I'm swiping right on Kevin Costner's phone. This is totally trippy. But that's a surreal story that, that's a $20 million Hollywood film surreal story that you're not going to get tonight. Tonight's story is going to be a little more low budget for you guys. I'm sorry about that. I'm talking about 39 cents or so maybe. Anyway, what was cool about is that when I, to give you an example of how low budget this is, I was sitting in the bathroom doing my business the other day, and I heard this. I told you it was going to be low budget. And I heard this voice from beyond the door of the bathroom, and it turned out it was a car commercial, and it went like this. And I heard this guy's voice in my head. It said, "Not since Hot Wheels have cars been so much fun." And I immediately went to a place that I hadn't thought of in 10, 20, maybe 30, 40 years even. Hot Wheels. Do any of you remember those little dinky cars, those Matchbox cars? Yeah. Do you remember snapping that orange track together and having it cascade down your family's stairwell and having it go around the corner and under a table, over a chair, loop-de-loop and everywhere? Well, this was the world that this guy's car commercial in the hallway just put me back into. And I just remember what a glorious time it was to play with those things. And I so look forward to saving up and getting a wonderful 39-cent model. And that was the dark side of the Hot Wheels, is that they were 39 cents. And when I was a kid, I earned a thin Canadian Blue Nose Schooner dime every week that I did all my chores and had no cussing. And it was an eternity to save up for one of those lousy little 39-cent cars, especially in the wintertime when there was hockey cards to collect, and they were 10 cents a pack too. So that often thwarted my Hot Wheels savings plan. Went right out of the window there with those O-Pee-Chee cards. But anyway, so you can imagine the scuttlebutt, the excitement on the first recess of a Monday morning at the Shanty Bay Public School when little Duncan Ellis comes out and tells us that there's going to be a bit of a soiree the following Saturday. It was going to be a 7th birthday party. And at that birthday party, every invited guest would have an opportunity to receive a party favor. And by golly, that just might be a brand new, in the package, shiny metal Hot Wheel. So we were just so pumped for the entire week. It took forever to get to next Saturday, but sooner or later it came, and we were playing Saturday afternoon at Dunk's house. We were playing those lame birthday party party parlor games that we play, like musical chairs, for example. You know, when you take your chair out, the music stops, and you got to sit down really quickly, and lame games like that. And we were all thinking, where's the Hot Wheels? Where's the Hot Wheels? And anyways, we were playing musical chairs, and Jamie Torpia, a childhood friend of mine, he was the first one out in musical chairs, and I think he started a pattern that, you know, may have, you know, set him up for the rest of his life, and he drowned his sorrows by ordering a drink. He said, Mrs. Alice, I want some cherry Kool-Aid. And you remember cherry Kool-Aid and Saturday morning cartoons, the Kool-Aid man that goes, oh yeah, it tastes great, and he comes crashing through the wall. I tell you, Saturday morning cartoons were great. We had to buy Hot Wheels, we had to buy Kool-Aid. Anyway, so Jamie, Mrs. Ellis says, well, Jamie, just go to the dining room. You'll see your name on a placemat. Bring me your cup, and I'll fill it with cherry Kool-Aid. So the music starts, and we're doing the musical chairs again. And Jamie comes back from the dining room table, and he's shaking. He's holding his red Solo cup in the air like this, and he's like pointing to it. He's like he's got Parkinson's or something. And he's like, oh, like this, and we're looking at him. His eyes are just all bug-eyed, and he pulls out, this is so surreal, he pulls out a beautiful Shelby Cobra GT. And this is where it gets trippy for me, because 40 years later, I would see it on Kevin Costner's phone. It was like, whoa! If that's not evidence that we live in some sort of virtual reality simulation, I don't know what is. Some guy's tripping out, some coder's going, oh, I'm going to mess with him. And it was just like, wow. And now all of us that were playing the game, the music stops. Not a one of us sits down. We just go zooming by Jamie, and it's like a cartoon. He's like spinning around because we're running by him on either side to get to the dining room table. Looking for, it was like pandemonium, chaos. It was delightful, actually, because everyone's going, where's my cup? And we're looking for our names. Everyone drops to their knees with their brand new Hot Wheel, and an instant impromptu Hot Wheels land created itself on the floor of the dining room hardwood, and I'm trying to get down there because the sounds that are coming up at me, the blah, 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 all those wonderful car sounds to a 7-year-old's ears is like, I want to get down there. Where's my Hot Wheel? Mrs. Ellis, I don't see my name. I'm looking for my name like crazy, and Mrs. Ellis said, no, it's right over there in the corner, Philip. And I go, Philip? My name's Phil, or Flip, but it's Philip? What? And I look over there, oh no, it's spelled with 2 L's. Mrs. Ellis, don't you know that Philip is spelled like Prince Philip with 1 L? or like Philip Electronics? And I was going a little nerd, and I'd lost my focus like every single report card I ever had. Said, Phil, could you pay more attention? He loses focuses on task. And it's like, yeah, so there I was. So I snapped myself out of it, and I finally take my chubby little forearm, and I reach for this red Solo cup, curling up the placemat as I drag myself up over the table to get this red cup, and I tap it out, and out it rolls. Out it rolls all the way across the placemat, coming to rest against the little party hat on the other side. And I took a breath. I couldn't breathe. My eyes were bugging out just like Jamie's. But not for the same reason. It was the horror. I looked at this. It was a plain brown station wagon. My one chance at a free Hot Wheel. I would have to save up 2 months to get this thing. And it was a plain brown station wagon. I couldn't breathe. The pit in my stomach was just, oh, why? What kind of cruel mother could do this to me? It was like I was cycling through the stages of grief, and then I was crying, and I was angry then, and then I got to the stage of grief called bartering, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to deal this sucker away. I'm going to get rid of this thing. And I started to look down in the Hot Wheel land, and they were still making sounds. And I was going, man, what kind of sounds could a plain brown station wagon make? Maybe rustling of brown paper grocery bags from the Dominion store, maybe? I don't know, but it wasn't going to be anything fun. So I was looking for the weakest kid down there on the floor to make a deal with. And then I spotted him over in their corner. I said, oh, hey, Chrissy, how you doing, Chrissy? Well, what's going on there? I'm not going to have any friends left. Jamie Torpy's written me off, Chrissy. Hey, Chrissy, what's going on there? I see your car. Oh my goodness, it doesn't have a roof, Chrissy. How would you like to trade it for this car? It's got a nice big lawn, flat, sturdy roof. And he looked at me. My car is a 1969 Camaro convertible. Oh man, I could feel the deal slipping away already. And he said, he reiterated to me, "It's a convertible. It's not supposed to have a roof." And that's when I knew the deal was dead. And I turned to the host, Duncan, thinking that, he's the host. He's got to be able to make the party a good time for everyone. So I said, "Hey, Dunk, I see your car there. It's a little tiny car, a little two-seater. It doesn't, well, two-seaters. How would you like to trade it for a car that's got 5, 7, 9, 11 seats in that little bench seat, so that plastic miniature plain brown station wagon?" He goes, "Flip, save your breath. I'm keeping my Corvette Stingray, thank you very much." Well, I was like under my breath. I said, "Of course you are. It's a crooked. Your mother put it in there for you. What a crooked birthday party is this?" That's about all I remember from that birthday party. I think I must have blacked out, or just the next thing I remember was running up the stairs at my house and taking that plain brown station wagon and banishing it into the abyss known as the bottom of my toy box. Slamming the toy box and never wanting to see that again. And time does heal all wounds, and a couple weeks later, I am playing Hot Wheels by myself, and my sister walks by me. Cartoons are over for Saturday morning. Hockey had ended for the season, and my friends were coming over, and I was kind of excited. So I set up a dual track where you race two cars against each other. I come on, and my sister walks by and goes, "Hey, Flip, want to race?" And I said, "Oh, yeah." I was tired of racing against myself. So I came all the way up the stairs and placed one of the 7 Hot Wheels that I had at the top, placed it on the track, and she released the Hot Wheel under her track, and down they went. And it felt good. Saturday morning, racing Hot Wheels in your living room, waiting for your buddies to come over. And there it was again, that pit in my stomach again. Not just the fact that I was losing, not even by a couple of inches, but a couple of feet. It was because the car that my sister had put on the track was one from the bottom of my toy box. It was that dang plain brown station wagon haunting me, and it was winning, and I couldn't even look at the thing, and then I heard her voice because I closed my eyes, and all I could hear was "Winner, winner, chicken dinner," and out she slammed the kitchen door, and out she went, and she left me in a big pile of hot mess, all my emotions. This can't be. Everybody knows that the fast Hot Wheels are because of how hot your Hot Wheels are. And to have an ordinary, plain brown win was against the rules of the universe. It was a law. And I replicated the experiment time and time again against each one of my 7 hottest Hot Wheels, and it won by feet every time. I didn't understand. I thought, if this isn't true, what other worldviews aren't true? Maybe that little round globe that the teacher brought out the week before with the spinning ball water earth concept, maybe that wasn't true either. Who's spinning 1,000 miles an hour around the sun, 67,000? I don't feel any of that. That's probably not true either. Same with those moon hoaxes, landings that were on TV at the time. They didn't seem all that real. I just couldn't get over the fact that the plain brown station wagon was beating all my cars. And what was I going to do? My friends were coming over. They weren't ready to handle this truth. Their worldview would be upset. They wouldn't be able to go to school Monday morning if they found this out. So I had to squelch it. I would do what NASA did. I would destroy the technology. I would destroy that plain brown station wagon. Ron Oliver, for his Apollo 13, went to NASA and asked for the footage for the moon landings, and he said, "Sorry, we erased those tapes." It's like, come on, really? Mankind's crowning achievement? Anyways, I would be NASA. I would be the keeper of the secrets. I would be like a 33-degree Mason. I would keep the citizens of Hot Wheel Land happy. So I set about to destroy that plain brown station wagon, setting it at the bottom of the track, racing all my wedgie-shaped muscle cars with the fat tires on the back with the thin red lines around them and the mag wheels and the small tires and the airfoils. It was just so much fun racing it down, flipping the car into the air. One time the door broke off and there was hoots and hollers from all my friends that had joined me. It was becoming a whole heck of a lot of fun. And then when a tire broke off, I knew, the secret was going to be safe for me. That car would never beat all my other Hot Wheels. And boy, the fun was just beginning, because when the summer came, the capital of Hot Wheel Land moved from my living room out to the sandbox. And all my other cars were too good to make it into the tunnel avalanches and sand collapses and puddle jumps, but not my 3-wheeled plain brown station wagon with the missing door. We could build a sandcastle 4 feet high, and we made a little road and went all around to the top. And when we got to the top, I decided to wedge a firecracker in that open, broken door, light it, and then it was like my friend Peter Warder and I, we lit it, and then we ran as fast as we could. We jumped into the long grass, and we looked back, just sort of like Starsky and Hutch does in the movie, you know? And you look back and you see the exploding car. It was like movie magic heaven for us. And the car became iconic with me. The next couple of days later, it was the end of the school year, and we had a campfire. And the older kids, my sister's friends, were tossing their schoolwork into the fire, and we were crumpling up all our fridge artwork, our grade 2 fridge artwork, into the fire, and I got an idea to stick a marshmallow stick in that broken back door and cart the little station wagon around the campfire. And then I got the idea. My dad had a problem with some tent caterpillars, and I knew where they were still. He didn't get them all, and I went to the apple orchard and got a couple of tent caterpillars and opened up the tiny little door and put them in that little plain brown station wagon. And once again, I was going around the campfire and said, hey, Ethel, let's go to the grocery store in a plain brown station wagon. And I started to take the car, because they said, one of the caterpillars said, hey, you know what? I know a shortcut. Let's go through here. And I started to rise it up to the flames. And the boys' eyes were hooting. And they're saying, oh, look at this. Because the heat from the flames started to melt the little wheels, dripping big steam streams of black plastic into the embers below. And no one had seen this. Melted Hot Wheels going, how ironic, going right down into the fire. And the girls were going, what? There's caterpillars in there. And that's when I knew I had their attention. And this was kind of exciting for me. I was an Illuminati. I was the holder of all knowledge. And I raised this station wagon up to the flames. The flames started to come around the sides of the plain brown station wagon. And then as I went through the flames, one of the caterpillars started to climb over the steering wheel, over the dashboard, and out where the windshield had been. Had we not blown it out with a firecracker, it was going out onto the hood. And as it got near the edge, it sort of curled up with heat exhaustion and went poof. And the girls started to scream. They wanted the blood. They cared about the condition of the caterpillar, but not apparently me. But anyway, the boys protected me from the girls that were advancing. They hoisted me on their shoulder even, and there I was on the shoulder of one of my friends. I had a scepter, really. It was a marshmallow stick with a station wagon on it, and they were parading me around the yard, and the girls were screaming, the boys were hollering. I just felt so full of life. I had become the king of Hot Wheel land, and it was so much fun. But unfortunately, with everything, it comes to an end. And the next day I woke up, and like every time before, I'd woken up in the morning and said, hey, where's that plain brown station wagon? It becomes sort of part of me. It was become synonymous with this thing. And I couldn't find it anywhere. I mowed the lawn, I raked the leaves, I dug every sandcastle and couldn't find what remained of that plain brown station wagon. And then it hit me that this thing was really truly gone. And I had that pit in my stomach, that hurt in my chest, just like I had when it rolled into my life. And now I had it for its absence in my life. It was truly, truly sad. And I hadn't had any of those memories until that darn television announcer said, not since Hot Wheels have cars been so much fun. And I remember this whole story like it was yesterday now. And I hadn't thought of it for 30 years. Today, I still get a glimmer of hope and a smile when I think about this, because today there's a 6-inch pad of concrete and a real double-car garage over the capital of Hot Wheels land, where it was in that summer of '72. And I really hope that sometime a post-apocalyptic archaeologist will come across my 1970 Pontiac Parisienne Grand Station Wagon. And, they're not going to know how it transformed a nerdy little off-task kid to a big nerdy off-task kid. No, but to a kid that had a little bit of chutzpah and started to ringlead his other friends. And it was really transformative, because I went through that plain brown station wagon. I started to question all my worldviews, as rightly they should, when they stop holding water. And it was really something that the archaeologists will look at the melted seats. That they might conjecture it will have something to do with the radiation that we may have to go through between now and then. But they won't know. It was just simply a 7-year-old's end of school campfire experiment called Station Wagon on a Stick, jumping through flames, driven by caterpillars, of course. But what that Hot Wheel meant to me was, most of all, was that for the rest of my life, I knew that I somehow would always have the ability to make delicious lemon lime Kool-Aid out of the lemons that sometimes roll into your lives and my lives. So that was the big thing and the big takeaway from it all. So I have to say that car announcer had it almost right when he said, not since Hot Wheels have cars been so much fun. I would have to say that, in my case, I would have to say that a better line might be, not since Hot Wheels has life become so much fun. Thank you.